Hello, everyone. We're back to a Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. John and I were just catching up. John being John Murdo, he is from our social media department, and I'm Kelly Baltzell. I'm the CEO of Beyond Indigo Pets. Welcome. We are back to our Facebook Live series. This week will be Monday through Thursday. So, John, you like talk data. You like thinking about data. You like thinking about how to manipulate data. And we're all about data here at Beyond Indigo. I mean, a lot of people see some fun memes that we make or posts that we make, but they don't really understand that it's data driven. So why do we look at data? Like, let's start with basics. What is data and why do we look at it? And how many forms of data are there?
Sure. So each platform has numerous different pieces of data that you can look at that all tell a story, and all we try to cater towards the ability to meet the client's goals. So if it's specifically something about boarding, we try to craft posts on Facebook around boarding as well as Google My Business. And we try to, in our latest reports, kind of talk specifically on data that's regarding those types of goals for the client. So talking about how many people saw the post or ads, how many people clicked on those things, and kind of refining the data to speak to the results for the goals versus just providing generic data about how the accounts have performed as a whole. We're trying to really help the clients meet and exceed their goals each quarter now.
Right, and the data helps like keep the train on the track, so to speak, right? Like if the data starts veering off and we're like, oh, that's not working right, then we can change it, right?
Yeah, and so we have certain metrics around, say, something like boarding or pet dentals, where we know typically the price points when it comes to ads for those types of campaigns, not just with that specific client, but with our other clients. We kind of have internal benchmarks to kind of keep an eye on to see, is, the price too high? Is the price too low? Where is it at? Are we reaching the right people? And then even to the extent of, how many people saw the ad, how many actually converted and went to the page or what filled out the form. So there's different levels of data that kind of follow through a funnel and kind of help us reach those goals for the clients.
And data has really exploded. I mean, you and I were talking about this. I was saying, I remember when the data point that we were trying to reach in SEO was position 1, 2, or 3 on organic search, which now organic search is just one of 5 different types of main searches that Google offers. So, I mean, there's that, right? So now it's not even like which position are you, it's where on Google are you getting your positioning. So data has really exploded, and because it's exploded so much, all of a sudden people were going cross-eyed trying to track it. So we use a system that's actually provided by Google. What does Google do for us, and how does that make it an aggregate, and how does that help everybody track it, and our clients too? I mean, they see the results. So from that.
Yeah, so years ago when I started doing social media, we just had the Facebook Insights, which provided data, which at the time was better than nothing, but it didn't really help us tell the whole story. It just kind of showed the bare overall numbers for the accounts as a whole. You didn't see things for individual posts or individual efforts. Now with Google Data Studio, it actually allows us to pull in all of the data from Facebook or Google My Business or from Google AdWords, different things. And we can really refine that data and pull out bits and pieces of the data that kind of explain that story and the process of what we've done for the client to reach those goals. And we're analyzing the data just specifically on that versus the generic data. Because when I was at NBC years ago and we were just doing social media, we just kind of looked at, Facebook likes, the total number of people reached, and then we could kind of see a little bit of a correlation between those numbers increasing as well as our web traffic increasing. But now it's not just increasing the web traffic, it's increasing traffic to your website to also convert on a specific goal. So that way, at the end of the day, you're seeing increased revenues for your business, but not just additional traffic.
Right. So it's kind of evolved, right? So first of all, we had a thing, Facebook or Google, And then we're like, ooh, shiny new toy. What can we do with this thing? And then people are like, ooh, this thing matters. So then we started tracking about how we could get the most traffic from Google or Facebook. I'll just use those two as an example, although there's others. And everybody was pretty excited just knowing that it got traffic for a while. That was a phase, right? That was years. And now we're kind of into, like you said, this next thing is now that traffic should be doing something for your business. It's just not enough to say, wow, 100 people reached, your ad reached 100 people, right? Or your post reached 1,000 people. That's lovely. That's good brand awareness. But now what? And that what is what we're really looking at in data of, like, and that's what the conversion is. That what the conversion means, the what. What did people do with that tactic or marketing ploy to get something done? So, here at Beyond Indigo, we've taken it one step further and said, your marketing should do something. It shouldn't just look like pretty with bells and whistles and bows on. Like, what does it do, right? Like, and that's the part that we look at, and that's how we look at Data Studio, which is like a lab report, because it gives you a whole bunch of numbers, but you still have to make a story out of those numbers, and you have to make sure everything's on track, just like a treatment plan in a hospital. If the numbers are off in the blood work, things are done to get the numbers back on track, right? The same goes with marketing, that we use data in just exactly the same way. But instead of the health of an animal, it's the health of the marketing program. And then actually there should be a winning result of the goal, and the goals are like, book out your dentals, or maybe you're a new business, get new clients, or use some sort of new service. That's the what, right? And that's what you guys look at.
Yeah, and with the reports now, we've actually started being able to segment the data out to sourcing the source of the traffic. So we are getting to the point where we can track that someone filled out this form and it stemmed specifically from Facebook. So we can tell you that, you had 20 new client forms filled out this month, but 5 of those stemmed from Facebook and 3 of those stemmed from Google My Business. So we're getting to the point where we can really break that out and help you see the bigger picture, that you didn't just have 20 forms for new clients, which, your average new client is worth, say, $600 a year, but 5 of that came from social media, and then 5 of those came from SEO, and then you had some that just came in organically. And we're helping you, really break out the total picture into individual pieces and kind of see how each part of your marketing is generating results and returning profits for you.
And that also tells us too where to allocate your marketing dollars, right?
Yeah.
Like, Facebook is just driving the traffic on a specific marketing initiative, and it's just knocking it out of the park. And Google is sort of kind of lackluster. Well, we shouldn't be dumping money in Google. We pivot and we go, okay, Facebook's the winner. We're going to do this because it's working, right? Like, we don't, with our clients, we use digital marketing plans, so we can do that we are just very fluid between platforms. It really isn't the to-do item on the platform. It's really meeting that marketing goal, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I know we've had some clients start trying to use Nextdoor as a advertising campaign solution. And in some markets, it seems to be doing well, and the price points are kind of on par with what you could get on Google Ads or Facebook. In other markets, the price point seems to be way too high, and it's just because there's not enough people in that market using it. And so, that's one of those things we look at as, okay, the cost per 1,000 impressions is this. Well, we could actually reach 5 times that amount if we shifted that budget from Nextdoor to Facebook or to Google Ads. But then you also sometimes look at, well, we only reached that, but the conversion rate and the number of clients we got from that, even though it may be a higher cost per impression, we actually saw more conversion. So there's different things that we look at. So sometimes while that benchmark may be outside where we would like it, there may have been some result that actually did drive. So it was a benefit to continue that tactic. So,
which is, you bring up a valid point. Don't take every piece of data at face value. Pair up the data with the story and the goal, right? Because a lot of times people are like, wow, I got this click-through rate. Okay. then what happened? What's the next step, right? Did they, okay, so they went someplace and they clicked through the ad, and that's really great. Then what? Did they convert? Did they call?
Mm-hmm.
The then what now is the next story. It's the next
Mm-hmm.
piece of information that everybody should be asking their marketer. What's my then what?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're focusing today. Well, thank you, John. This was really a great morning discussion. Morning, Monday. It could be morning in places. It's not for me. It's afternoon where you are, but it's just the thing. But maybe West Coast time. See, I need more caffeine. But thank you for being here today, and just kind of, again, data is tricky and it's overwhelming, and it makes us want to cross our eyes and just throw up our hands because we're like, this is too much. I'm hitting the reject button. But really, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. Individuals like yourself who just love looking at the data, this is a passion for you. You enjoy this. This is what makes your job inspiring for you, at least what I've witnessed. And, that's why people come to us, to interface with people like you. So thank you. And everybody else, have a great rest of your day.